There's a video going around of this stand-up comedian, Natalie Cuomo, and I have some thoughts because I'm a stand-up comedian. Natalie lost it on an audience member because he was heckling her, but the thing about Natalie and a lot of other comedians that have recently become very famous very quickly is that in the pandemic, they kind of shot up to their fame and they hadn't put in the time and the work to actually be good at crowd work and know how to handle any crowd, no matter what type of people they are.
This woman just accidentally explained the entire problem with modern female comedians in one sentence. They didn't earn their spots through talent or years of grinding in dive bars and comedy clubs. They got famous through social media algorithms and diversity quotas, not because they're actually funny. The pandemic gave mediocre female comedians a shortcut to success they never deserved, and now they're completely exposed when faced with real comedy situations. This is what happens when you prioritize gender over ability. You get people in positions they're not qualified for, and everyone suffers for it.
So these people, like Natalie, are getting headliner jobs, like headliner spots at comedy clubs, and they're just not ready. Matt Rife is also a really good example of this, but he actually is better at crowd work and terrible at his written material, whereas Natalie is the opposite. But let's watch what happened with Natalie.
I came together to be supportive and fucking amazing, and you're putting negative, no, fucking look me guys, you're putting negative fucking energy out here. This is the last show of my fucking, look me in the fucking eye. It's the last show of my fucking weekend. It's a sold out show, and you want to say mean shit to me, okay? So don't fucking do that.
People who aren't in stand-up comedy, which is most people, it is the most difficult type of entertainment you can do, hands down. I've done everything. I've literally done every form of entertainment, and I'm telling you, this is the hardest. However, it is very obvious when you're not ready, and I will be the first to say I would not be ready right now to do what Natalie's doing, headlining these clubs. Absolutely not. I can't handle every single type of person in a crowd yet. I can handle my material. I can handle a little bit of crowd work, like a tiny bit, not this. And she can't handle it either. I want everybody to know that this is not how comedy is supposed to be. And although everyone was celebrating her and being glad that she called this man out, that's not what comedy is supposed to be. You're not supposed to be going to comedy clubs and arguing and having these types of energies in the club. There's a difference between a seasoned comedian and a comedian who got to their level of fame super quickly and just has not put in the work.
Even this female comedian analyzing the situation knows that Natalie is completely out of her depth. But she's missing the bigger picture. This isn't just about experience, it's about fundamental differences between male and female psychology. Men understand that comedy is about taking hits and rolling with them. Women take everything personally and turn entertainment into emotional warfare. When a real comedian gets heckled, they destroy the heckler with wit and humor. When a female comedian gets heckled, they have a psychological breakdown and start screaming like they're in a relationship argument.
Over a decade, 10, 12, 15 years to get to a point in comedy where you can handle what she's trying to handle right now. Us comedians see that and are readily able to say that we aren't ready. But I kind of think the public needs to know that too.
Because people who do comedy here for
you do comedy here.
Shut the fuck
up. No, you do comedy here. Arnold. Hey.
Call my husband. Call my husband right now.
Call him.
You talk to me when I'm doing my comedy?
Yeah.
Hey. No. Hey, get out. Get out. Nick, stop.
This motherfucker.
Get out.
No. Fuck that is. I'll make you disappear. You'll never see him in any comic club. My word is here. Oh, without the pictures. And you guys are my people. You saw me. Every comic club, I stand up for people. I stand up for you. For everyone who somebody is fucking with you, I will stand up for you. Okay, are you guys standing up for me?
No.
Yeah, so somebody can talk shit about me and nobody can do nothing.
Yo, cry into the microphone.
I did that to Rob. Are you serious, you suck? I was trying to get you on the comedy club.
It's fine, whether you do or not. I'm telling you the truth. If you want me to lie to you, I'll lie.
American. Wow.
I'm telling you the truth.
Listen, I was here because because Rob wasn't saying anything. I was trying to help him to talk and get it out. And somebody come up to me and be like, shut the fuck up. And then when I start doing comedy, somebody started talking back. You saw it,
But
right?
then you got extra mad instead of just doing your
Yeah,
job.
because he was fucking with me.
People do that sometimes.
You do that?
Yeah, you've done mics, you know that.
In comedy club?
In comedy clubs too,
Oh,
sometimes
wow.
when you're drinking.
That's
Not
why you
always,
guys
not
are
always
here,
the
right?
best.
But you're a fucking loser, bitch.
Sorry.
No, I'm not getting you on because you are
That's
fucking
fair.
bitch. You guys are not loyal. Because when you are loyal, you fight with your friends.
But this is not a fighting environment.
It is, because he's
No,
a
we
racist.
use our words. We don't
He's a
use
racist.
violence here.
Racist.
I don't like violence.
And there it is, the race card. The moment she realizes she's losing the crowd and can't handle the situation with humor, she immediately plays the racism card. This is the female comedian playbook in a nutshell. When your jokes don't work, when you can't handle the crowd, when you're exposed as unfunny, just scream racism or sexism and hope the audience feels guilty enough to laugh. It's pathetic and predictable.
There's no race.
No, listen.
This has nothing to do with the race.
Hey, baby, the guy just talked to me when I was in my comedy show. And I was going through anxiety. You have to show up because I'm going to call it. No, he just like, he really talked to me. When I'm doing my comedy and I have a recording.
85 to 1.
Okay, that's your 1 minute lot.
No, no, Hey, what up?
What you just witnessed is a perfect case study in why female comedians are generally terrible and why the comedy industry's push for diversity is destroying the art form. This isn't comedy, this is a therapy session gone wrong with an audience forced to watch. Natalie Cuomo, like most modern female comedians, got her career through social media clout and industry quota filling rather than actual talent. She's been handed opportunities that male comedians have to spend decades earning, and when she's finally put in a real comedy situation with real pressure, she completely falls apart. The fundamental problem is that comedy requires a specific psychological makeup that most women simply don't possess. Comedy is about taking punishment and turning it into entertainment. It's about being able to laugh at yourself, handle criticism, and maintain composure under pressure. These are traditionally masculine traits that have been developed through millions of years of male competition and conflict resolution. Women, on the other hand, have evolved to avoid conflict and seek emotional validation. When faced with hostility or criticism, their natural response is to become emotional, take things personally, and try to shut down the aggressor through social shaming rather than wit. That's exactly what we see here. Instead of handling the heckler with clever comebacks or turning the situation into comedy gold, Natalie immediately goes into victim mode and starts screaming. This is the last resort of every failed female comedian. When you can't be funny, just accuse your critics of being bigots. It's a pathetic attempt to weaponize social justice to protect yourself from legitimate criticism of your lack of talent. The other female comedian commenting on this situation is almost as bad. She admits that most of these women aren't ready for the positions they've been given, but she refuses to acknowledge why. She talks about putting in the work and grinding for years, but conveniently ignores the fact that the comedy industry has been artificially promoting women regardless of their actual abilities. Here's the brutal truth about female comedians: most of them aren't funny, they never were funny, and they never will be funny. They've been propped up by an industry desperate to appear progressive and inclusive, but when they're put in real comedy situations, their lack of natural ability becomes painfully obvious. Male comedians understand that the audience doesn't owe them anything. If you bomb, that's on you. If you get heckled, that's part of the job. If the crowd doesn't like you, you either adapt or you fail. Female comedians, however, have been taught that they deserve success simply for existing, and when reality doesn't match their expectations, they have meltdowns. This is bigger than just comedy, though. This is a perfect example of what happens when you prioritize diversity over merit in any field. You end up with unqualified people in positions they can't handle, and everyone suffers for it. The audience gets terrible entertainment, the industry loses credibility, and the actual talented people get pushed aside to make room for quota fillers. The comedy industry has become a participation trophy system where being a woman is more important than being funny. Club owners book female comedians not because they draw crowds or deliver great performances, but because they need to fill diversity quotas and avoid social media backlash. But the market always corrects itself eventually. Audiences can tell the difference between real comedy and diversity hire crap. That's why most female comedians have tiny, niche followings compared to their male counterparts. That's why their specials get terrible ratings. That's why they constantly have to resort to victimhood narratives and social justice pandering instead of actual humor. The Natalie Cuomo meltdown is just the latest example of what happens when artificial promotion meets natural selection. She was given opportunities she didn't earn, put in situations she couldn't handle, and when her lack of ability was exposed, she did exactly what every failed female comedian does: blamed everyone else and played the victim card. This is the death of comedy as an art form. When talent takes a backseat to gender politics, when merit is replaced by diversity quotas, when legitimate criticism is dismissed as bigotry, the entire industry suffers. Real comedians, the ones who actually put in the work and developed real skills, are being pushed aside to make room for social media influencers with victim complexes. The audience knows the difference. They can tell when someone is actually funny versus when someone is just checking boxes. And that's why female comedy continues to be a joke, just not the kind that's supposed to make you laugh.